Hi, it's Annie Lou. How are you? I am here to start a new series, and I hope you will join me. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be using Dollar Tree items to create scrapbook pages and a journal. Now, I purchased this book at Dollar Tree for $1. Now, this is where I'm going to be doing my work, but you can do your scrapping and journaling wherever you want. If you want to learn how to transform a book into a journal, I wouldn't get anything smaller than this. And this measures around 7 by 9, 7.5 by 9. Any size, but really not smaller than this. Another thing that you need to look for, and this is my choice, is that I like to use books that have signatures. Now, signatures are groups of paper that are sewn into the book. And I don't know if you can find the exact book that I found. It says I Can Play It. That is the name of the book. And what I liked about this book, and you don't have to have this, is that it has this, this jacket is not removable. It just is sort of probably like a bookmarker, so that if you were using the book, you would use it as a bookmarker. That will be part of my journal. So I want you to turn your pages, and when you find a book that has stitching in it, that is what you want. Because what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to pull out pages. And if you do that with a book that has a glued binding, it doesn't work out very well because the pages will start to fall out on their own. And I know that from experience. Now, do you see this piece of masking tape? That is so that I keep my book in frame. That's all it does. Okay, so unfortunately, well, I just wasn't thinking. I took a couple of pages out of the book already, but I am still going to show you how to do that. So from the front of the book, I turned my pages until I found a page that was stitched. Now, this is where I took these two pages out of. Okay, so it's really up to you where you want to take your pictures. And I understand that it is up to you is not a good way to teach. So here is some stitching. I am going to keep going until I find another set of stitching, just so you can see what I'm talking about. So here is the next set of the stitching that is exposed. You really need to pull your book so that you can see where the stitching is exposed, because you need to pull your pages from that area. So I will lift this up, and I will gently just pull. And if there are little bits of paper in there, you can just use some tweezers to pull it out. So I have my tweezers. You can use regular tweezers. These happen to be reverse tweezers, where you press them and they open. And then you just go in and pull out what you want to pull. I don't want to spend too much time on this right now. Once again, I am going to find the next stitched section, and it's right here. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling out pages, because once we start putting things in here, it's going to get thick. So I can see just by looking at the pages that I pulled, I can see spaces. I have to decide where I am going to start my layout. I think I am going to go, I would leave 1, 2, 3, 4. Start on your 4th turnover. okay? Now what you need to do is we need to reinforce these pages. They need to be thicker than what this is. And this happens to be very, very good quality paper. So this is going to be a 2-page layout, so I need to glue these 2 pages together and these 2 pages together. Now you can use whatever you want. You can use Elmer's glue, you can use the glue that they have at the Dollar Tree store. Any kind of glue will do. I happen to have a lot of adhesive here. So I'm going to use what I have, and I should not be shaking my bottle, I should be rolling it. Now what I like to do is I like to save these styrofoam containers that you get with meat products as my palette. 1, I'm recycling, and 2, it's free. I have, you can use a sponge brush for this, or I like to use just an old brush that I have. See how fluffy it is? That's because I bet you this brush is about 15 years old. I do take care of my brushes, but after time, they're not new anymore, so you find new things for them to do. So here we go. I am going to take some of, you can use Mod Podge, there's anything that sticks, okay? So I am going to turn this page and I am going to just cover it with my glue and try not to have little pieces of things mixed in there. And that is because my glue is, it's a few years old, so I'm going to try to get those bumps out. And you want to go all the way to your edges. And you can see that this paper is starting to bubble, but that is okay because it will unbubble. So you need to protect your surface that you're working on. I don't want to get this all sticky and stuff. So I put it right under the page that I'm doing, and once again I'm recycling. This is a page from this book. Now I am going to take it and put them together. And when I put them together, I want to start right there in the middle and push out. Now, if you have an old key card from a hotel, or maybe a plastic spatula, use it to smooth out these pages. And I can see over here on the end that I have some glue coming out. So I'm just going to wipe that in 2 spots. And maybe I'll get another page to protect this side. And I have to give this time to dry. So, but I want to do a few pages. So now I will turn that over, and my left side is already done. So I just have to do the right side. So here we go again. I'm getting those little chunks of dried glue off my paintbrush by scraping it, and I can see there's a lot there. So watch for those. If you have new adhesive, you're not going to have a problem. But may I suggest that you use what you have. All right, pick that up. And now I will take the page Doesn't seem to be as wet, which is good. So now I am going to use the key card or whatever you have. Don't use a metal spatula if you're using something from the kitchen. Use a plastic one. There you go. And my pages are sealed. Oh, a little bit of a wrinkle, but that's okay. Wrinkles just give character to your pages, so don't worry about the wrinkles. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to glue a few more pages, and then I need to let them dry. And what I like to do is I don't like them to be sitting on each other when they're drying, so I will put something there to keep the pages apart. So I am going to do that, and I'll be back for step 2. So we need to prep our pages before we do any artwork or scrapping on them. So, and they need to dry in between the coats of the glue. So I am going to do a few more, and then I'll be back.